Lately, there's been a lot of talk about autonomous or self-driving cars. On the one hand, this seems like more Jetsons-inspired nonsense, kind of like the flying car. On the other hand, many automakers are actually building cars that can assist the driver in various ways. Brands like Cadillac, Ford, Nissan, Subaru and Volvo are doing a lot of the talking about the technology and how their own products fit into the conversation. Good communication essentially equals success. If you don't communicate your idea properly, you might as well just not do it. For example, Nissan is doing such a good job of letting the press and public know about some of their emerging technology that they've become the de facto winner in the race toward driver assist and, eventually, totally self-driving cars. Is their tech the best? Will it be the first? I don't know, maybe, maybe not. It doesn't really matter. The fact is, they're shouting about it so loudly that you kind of have to pay attention. Thankfully, the shouting is backed up by useful, real-world, autonomous technology, and it's already working in some vehicles. However, it's important to keep in mind that society, roads, regulations and insurance all have to be ready too. It's not just about the cars. In a recent automotive news article, former auto industry executive Bob Lutz describes an automotive future where cars enter and exit highways, merge and navigate superhighways automatically. He says that spells the end of the traditional automobile as we know it. He's partly right. I'm not sure about the timeline, but I've seen Nissan vehicles negotiate the real world exactly like Lutz describes. I sat in the back seat of an Infiniti Q70 equipped with a sophisticated version of Nissan's ProPilot technology. The car was able to get itself from one navigation point to the other with very little human interaction. That interaction included the human driver entering the destination into the car's onboard navigation system, something that could easily be accomplished with a smartphone, and raising the car's set cruise control speed to see if it would pass a slower car, because we asked the driver to do it. It did. This was not done on a closed course but rather in Tokyo on surface streets and highways, including highway on-ramps and exits in both left and right turns. I suspect the driver was unnecessary and was there primarily to ease nerves. Nissan also demonstrated a Leaf EV that can park itself, but this requires a little more human supervision. There is one little caveat: this was done in Tokyo, where most streets and roads are very clearly marked and easy to understand, even for cameras. Some lanes are even color-coded. Also, the speed limits are a little lower on the highways there. In many cases, the posted limits were 60 to 80 km per hour, roughly 40 to 50 miles per hour. It's as controlled an environment as you can get and still be in the real world. There were 3 of us in this one self-driving car. For the first 10 minutes, we sat amazed that the car was driving itself and negotiating real-world traffic. Then, as quickly as it started, it became normal. The conversation went like this: "Wow, so the car knows there's a red light? And it just passed that slower car? Cool. Hey, did you guys see the gigantic tower records in the heart of Tokyo? I spent 2 hours there last night. They have everything from..." And just like that, we accepted that the car in which we were riding was, essentially, driving itself. I expect the rest of the world will have the same reaction. Later, at the Tokyo Auto Show, I asked Daniele Schillaci, EVP Global Marketing and Sales for Nissan, how long it would be before such a car could be ready for consumers in the real world. His answer is somewhat nuanced: just beyond 2022 to 2023 for full autonomous in specific cities. That answer is both overly optimistic and a little conservative at the same time. In cities like Las Vegas, San Francisco or Chicago, where the downtown area is rather well defined, it could be sooner. I'm picturing vehicles on a loop of sorts, maybe even similar to San Francisco's mini trolley buses that are already bound to specific streets, because they run off overhead electrified cables. The bus technology already exists in the form of Ollie. How long until the average shopper can go buy a car that drives itself part of the time with the infrastructure of an entire state or even country supporting it? I think that's much farther out, perhaps as much as 15 to 18 years. To that end, Nissan showed a concept car in Tokyo. It's called the INX. It has a steering wheel and pedals that can stow out of the way when the car drives itself. Optimistic? Sure, but that's the fun of concept cars, and kudos to Nissan for creating such a forward-looking concept in the first place. Note to automakers: no one wants to come to your press conference to hear executives talk about net gains, EBITDA and sales goals only to see a concept car that looks 90% like a production car. Take Nissan's lead, and show the world something amazing. To be fair, other automakers like Ford, General Motors and Volvo are working on similar tech as an extension of their driver assist features, many of which are already available on new cars today. Nissan is getting ahead of the game by developing and, more importantly, communicating their vision of the future of the automobile. If I had to guess, I'd say Nissan has the will, ability, desire and dealer network to become the go-to source for cars that will eventually drive themselves.
While it's difficult to get definitive sales figures for international markets, InsideX reports Nissan has received over 19,000 orders for the new Leaf in Japan alone. And while that pales in comparison to the Tesla Model 3's reported pre-order figure of over 400,000, the 2018 Nissan Leaf orders are a different story. That's because, in Japan, all the paperwork is already set when an order is placed. All Nissan has to do is deliver the vehicle. In other words, it's not the same as putting down a $1,000 refundable deposit, which is the case with the Tesla Model 3. Another report from Daily Kanban says 9,600 units were ordered in Japan in October, and the company was able to fulfill 3,629 of those. That's because Nissan had to stop its factories from operating in Japan once it discovered an inspection scandal and stopped all deliveries to the Japanese market. In addition to those units sold in Japan, Nissan has moved approximately 4,000 or so in Europe. But if you're going off the number Nissan told InsideX, that means at least 23,000 Nissan Leaf units were sold in its first month of availability, and it's not even in North America yet. Regardless of which figure is more accurate, one thing is clear: the 2018 Nissan Leaf is in high demand and it's likely only going to get more popular.
The new Nissan Leaf has taken top honors at the CES, Consumer Electronics Show, annual CES unveiled ceremony, presented by the Consumer Technology Association. With the announcement of the Best of Innovation Award winners for 2018, before a crowd of tech industry experts in New York, the all-new, zero-emission Nissan Leaf won its first major international award. Nissan is aiming for many more to come. As confirmation of Nissan's leading investment in innovation, the Nissan Leaf 100% electric vehicle with ProPilot, known as ProPilot Assist in North America, and e-pedal technologies took the following honors: CES Best of Innovation Award winner for Vehicle Intelligence and Self-Driving Technology, CES honoree for Tech for a Better World. Each year, the Consumer Technology Association announces its CES Best of Innovation Award winners as part of the build-up to the January CES in Las Vegas. Nissan and the association will put on a special display of the new Nissan Leaf at the 2018 show. It is a great honor to have this early and important recognition for the new Nissan Leaf, said Daniele Schillaci, Nissan's Executive Vice President for Global Marketing and Sales, Zero-Emission Vehicles and the Battery Business, and Chairman of the Management Committee for the Japan A&O region. This award recognizes products and technologies that benefit people and the planet, so it is fitting that the new Leaf has been honored. It is more than just a car. It is the icon of Nissan Intelligent Mobility, our vision to move people to a better world. The new Nissan Leaf brings a compelling package of everyday useful innovations and technologies to more people worldwide than any electric vehicle has done before. The car is helping make the world a better place not only through innovation, but also through accessibility to more people. Additional capabilities such as vehicle-to-home and vehicle-to-grid integration, availability depending on market, help owners know they can waste less and give back more. The new Nissan Leaf is on sale in Japan and will be arriving at Nissan dealers in the US, Canada and Western Europe over the next 2 months.